So this may sound controversial, but I love Man of Steel's depiction of... It's no surprise to anyone that I'm a huge fan of Zack Snyder and his films, as I've said this once or twice on my channel. So why do I love this version of Superman? Simple really, it's because this is the most human I've seen of Superman / Clark Kent.
What did you say, nigga?
Excuse me, the fuck did you just say?
What? What did you just say, punk?
Jeez, calm down, I still have things to say. The one problem I've had with Superman is that he's too much of a nice guy, you know, who seems to have no flaws whatsoever, and that's totally fine. However, Snyder depicted Superman as an outsider, an outcast who's figuring out who he is and why he matters to the world. Something that I don't believe movies or TV shows have done for Superman. What I love about Man of Steel is that Snyder gave us these touching scenes where young Clark Kent is hiding in his school closet and he's struggling with his powers. His mother comes and he tries to help him, and it's honestly one of the most beautiful and heartwarming scenes I've ever seen.
How can I help you if you won't let me in?
The world's too big, Mom.
Then make it small. Just, focus on my voice. Pretend it's an island out in the ocean. Can you see it?
I see it.
Then swim towards it, honey.
What's wrong with me, Mom?
Clark.
Snyder wasn't afraid of putting Superman in the post 9/11 world and what the existence of Superman will look like. Like I said, Clark throughout is struggling to find himself and know who he is, and that to me is what made me love Superman. Because he never once questioned who he is and why he matters. And that to me is the most human thing and the most relatable thing. Because if we're being honest here, we question our existence and why we matter. We go on a self-discovery journey and it can be a long journey, sure. But just like Superman's journey, it will be enlightening. Upon rewatching the movie, the concept of destiny versus choice were factual to the story. My friend picked up that with destiny being Jor-El's point of view, seeing Kal-El as this godlike figure who can save everyone and be like this, well, essentially a god who everyone worships.
What if a child aspired to something greater? The people of Earth are different from us, it's true. But ultimately, I believe that's a good thing. They won't necessarily make the same mistakes we did. Not if you guide them, Cal. Not if you give them hope. That's what this symbol means. The symbol of the House of El means hope. Embodied within that hope is the fundamental belief in the potential of every person to be a force for good. That's what you can bring them.
And Jonathan Kent telling Clark he's a gift and it's up to him to what kind of man he wants to be.
The answer to are we alone in the universe?
I don't want to be.
And I don't blame you, son. It'd be a huge burden for anyone to bear. But you're not just anyone, Clark, and I have to believe that you were sent here for a reason. All these changes that you're going through, one day you're going to think of them as a blessing, and when that day comes, you're going to have to make a choice. A choice of whether to stand proud in front of the human race or not.
And Clark is pretty conflicted by both sides. Another scene where he made a choice is where he decided on whether or not he should help the humans. He chose to destroy Zod's ship because he knew Zod would make the same mistakes as Krypton did. And another scene is where he snapped Zod's neck. Now, this has been going on for so long, and it's honestly been a discussion about whether it was a right decision or a bad decision that he snapped Zod's neck. So I'm just going to give you my opinion on the whole situation. So the reason being Superman snapped Zod's neck is because of the situation and circumstance, you know? He couldn't do anything else. He knows Zod is stronger than he is, and so he tries to hold him down, but like Zod said...
Never.
Clark had no choice but to... Did he feel happy that he snapped Zod's neck? No, of course not. He's crying on his knees in front of Zod's body. Were there other options? Possibly. But Superman knew what was just, and that is very Superman-like, and it definitely has weight on him. It's definitely something that Superman movies don't explore on the theme of destiny versus choice. With Superman being who he is, there's never a scene in older movies where Superman is conflicted with two sides. Something that I admire about Man of Steel. The thing I hate about what people say about this film is that it's too dark or not hopeful, and I respectfully disagree with those comments. Man of Steel is inspirational and is hopeful. Reason being is because of Clark himself. He goes on a self-discovery journey, and at the end he finds who he is. You see Clark fighting for everyone on his travels, and he gets nothing out of it except seeing them live and standing. Clark has been crapped on by everyone, and yet he stays optimistic and keeps on fighting. One of the most inspirational scenes I could think of is the first flight scene, where Clark wears his suit and flies for the first time. What makes that scene so beautiful is the whole setting. You see, it's mellow with Hans Zimmer's incredible score in the background. You hear Jor-El giving Clark encouragement and motivation on why he's the embodiment of hope. And you just see the sun shine upon Superman and he takes his first flight. You can legit see and feel the sheer happiness and joy he's having, and it's so contagious and it's so amazing. Like, look at this camera work. It makes you feel like you are flying. It makes you feel like you are Superman. Hope plays a huge part on this movie, purely because Clark is hopeful, his friends and family are hopeful, and believe he's a good man. He made amends with a guy who treated him like trash into a friend. Martha and Jonathan Kent were extremely hopeful, giving him hope that he is not a mistake, and it's one of the most gut-wrenching and tearful moments in the movie.
Just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark, because whoever that man is, good character or bad, he's going to change the world.
He always believed you were meant for greater things, and that when the day came, your shoulders would be able to bear the weight.
Yeah. So she could have been here to see it finally happen.
He saw it, Clark, believe me.
God, that was just beautiful. Jor-El sending Superman to Earth was his hope to one day his son will grow up to be the symbol of hope. One of my favorite scenes is the church scene where Clark is speaking to the priest and confesses that he simply can't trust the human race. And at the end, Superman saves innocent lives and the government are by his side and realize that he's not an enemy, that he's a friend, and Superman realizes there's hope for the humankind.
This man is not our enemy.
Thank you, Colonel.
And let's get this out of the way. Superman is hope. There isn't an argument about it. Superman was created to be hope for the little guy who gets picked on in school. And this version has ticked all the boxes of being hopeful for the little guy and being an inspiration. And let me tell you something. Without this movie, I wouldn't have given a shit about Superman. And he would have been boring to me personally. And the fact that this movie, Man of Steel, gave me hope and inspiration that I will make it one day and be an inspiration, that is just precious. And what's beautiful about this whole movie is at the end Clark knows who he is. He becomes Superman that we all know and love. And no word of a lie, I've cried many times seeing that progression in his character, and it's just, once again, it's beautiful.
Glad to be here, Lois.
Damn, I'm getting emotional up in here. This has honestly been my favorite video to do, and shout out to my mate YK2K for giving me the idea of making this video, cause he's a huge fan of both Man of Steel and BVS, just like me. If you haven't already, please make sure you subscribe down below, and please make sure you subscribe to YK2K. His channel will be down in the description below. Share if you want, and like always guys, stay positive and peace.